about genres or subgenres. You know, like yesterday you mentioned dramedy and tragicomedy. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Yeah, between dramedy and tragicomedy.
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, tragi-comedy mixes tragedy and comedy. Okay, and those are two sharp poles, right? And like Roberto Benigni's Life is Beautiful, the death camps of World War II and whatever were not dramatic. They were tragic, right? Right? And so you mix tragedy and comedy, it becomes tragi-comedy. Situations that are dramatic mixed with comedy becomes what we call dramedy. So for example, in another mixture we call crimedy, okay? So you have a drama, a crime story, you might have a family story. Those are dramas, they're not tragedies, they're dramas. Mix those with comedy and you get dramedy or crimedy. And in the modern sitcom is often dramedy. Sex and the City, there were very serious problems for these women. Cancer, broken hearts of all kinds, careers, the prejudice against women. They faced serious dramatic problems, and then they mixed with comedy. And so that's the difference. I mean, the words that tell you. Tragi-comedy means it's not drama, it's bigger, it's tragedy.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot nowadays, tragicomedy, so I thought maybe
No.
it became one thing.
No, but we still do it. I mean, the reason you don't see it a lot is it takes it's very dangerous. It takes a tremendous skill, like Bernini's Life is Beautiful, and it also causes a lot of controversy. Life is Beautiful upset a lot of people. A lot of the Jewish community, people were saying, you cannot laugh at the Holocaust. I mean, they absolutely, other Jews said, that's great. So about half of the Jewish community in America was split on each side. And so tragi-comedy is very difficult to control and dangerous in terms of the public's reaction. And it takes a special talent, a special mind to be able to see how those two can be merged. Charlie Chaplin in the past was the most brilliant of them all, but I would argue that in many ways Chekhov goes right to the edge. And so but as I said, it takes a special talent to see it. It's dangerous to do, so it doesn't get done now.
So City Light, Chaplin, it's tragicomedy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Modern Life. Yeah, City Light.
And I have
The
one
Kid.
more question.
Yeah.
Just quickly, there are some theories of structure which teaches 3x structure with middle point. Is it the same thing as 4x structure? Same thing?
Yeah. Did you take the story lecture?
Yeah.
Yeah, I pointed it out. Casablanca is a 4-act design, or you could call when Ilsa tells him that she's married, that's Act 2. Mm-hmm. I call it Act 2. So the mid-act climax or the second-act climax is the same thing.
Just a matter of meaning.
And the truth is, no matter how much people talk about the 3-act structure, the truth is that the majority of stories are 4 acts, not 3. But in the middle, there's a major reversal that people don't call Act 2, they call the mid-act climax. But when you look at most stories, you see the 3-act. It's either 3 acts with subplots, or 4 acts, or 5 acts, or in action 6, 7, 8 acts. And the complaint, you hear this about the 3-act structure, actually they're not complaining about the number of acts. When people talk about the tyranny of the 3-act structure and others, what they're actually complaining about is happy endings. Because when people talk about the three-act structure, they almost always mean with a happy ending. And so the real subtext of the critical complaint about the tyranny of three acts is a complaint about happy endings. When stories have a tragic ending, if they're in three acts, nobody ever says it.
I thought they were complaining about simplification.
No, not really. I mean, I thought that too, but in fact, you know, the greatest stories, some of the greatest stories in the history of humankind are in three acts. It's not about simplification. It's not, and it's not a